Talk about that the other night.
Come on around here, buddy. Come right up here. How are you today? Good. Go ahead and turn the animal towards you, or you can step around her and look towards the audience. Let him see her. There you go. So what do you want to do?
I know. I asked Tracy when she came home from that bowl. I'm like, and I heard Jet was rather entertaining too. Yeah, he was here there. Oh yeah, it's all good.
Okay, good morning. Fun to come back. This is my second year at the Adams County Fair. I'm Butch Sowers. I live clear up in Story County by Nevada, Iowa. It's good to see the moisture down here in the mud puddles. We're just about cooked to a crisp up there in central Iowa. We've had very little rain. Our first hay crop was a disaster. The beans are pretty curly. The corn looks pretty good. It got up and shaded before the drought kind of started. But I'd like to take some of these mud puddles home. So today we're going to look at dairy goats again. We got one in this class of 4 months and under. It's a La Mancha Nubian cross. And what we're doing in the dairy goats is looking for a clean, flat bone pattern, plenty of openness to the barrel so they can take in hand, grade, and make milk. On the dairy goat scorecard, it goes to 100 points for a perfect animal, and then you take off deductions for faults. On a young dairy goat like this, we don't have a mammary system to evaluate, which is 35 points. So we have to look at other things that are just as important in a young animal, such as general appearance, body capacity, and dairy character. I looked across the yard over here, and you can see the big black steers, and they have a round bone pattern, real thick, heavy bones, and they're made to put on steak and roast and so forth. In the dairy goats, we want a flatter, more lean bone pattern, sharp at the withers, which is the top of the shoulders, long, clean, feminine neck, not carrying extra fat, a wide open rearness, and then the rear hocks, the place where that mammary system is going to go. And these need to be dairy, not beefy. So this animal really fits that category very well. She has a great general appearance. She's got a flat bone pattern, high and sharp at the withers. She's got a lot of width in her rear hocks, and she's high like that rear escutcheon. Rear escutcheon is going to be where the udder goes in. The top of half of the udder is like a volleyball. That's called the escutcheon. Really nice little doe. We'll give her a purple.
In the first class of dairy goats, those 4 to 8 months, board member with purple. We will have those 12 months to 24 months next. Entering the ring right now is Apple Butcher with her 1 entry in the 12 to 24 month class. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120,
Okay, we have one entry in what we call the dry yearling class, or 12 to 24 months, that has never had a baby. So we're looking at another Nubian type doe here. Again, we're looking at the flat bone pattern. We like a doe that opens up in that barrel, has a spread of rib, see plenty of hay and grain and make milk. We like, a term we like to use is symmetry. We like things to flow from the nose all the way back to the tail, and everything fit together nicely and smoothly. Not just a real pretty neck or shoulder assembly, and then an awkward looking middle and top of the loin, and then a rough looking rump. We want it all to flow nicely. This doe shows a lot of good characteristics for a Nubian. Got that good extension to the brisket. If I could change anything for this goat, I'd like to see her open up more in the barrel. Make her less tubular, more mature and open in the barrel, more open to the rib. I think she agrees. She may do that as she matures and has babies. What I like about the rear end here is a nice long hip. From here to the hip bone to the fin bone, that's a nice long hip. They cannot have a mammary system underneath there if they don't have the roof up above it. So she does have a nice big hip. We'd like to change her just in that barrel area and open up that rib cage. This goat definitely deserves a blue ribbon. Good job, young lady.
In the doe, 12 to 24 months, Avril Butcher with a blue ribbon. Our next class will be the 3 years and older does. The 3 years and older does will be 3 infants. In the doe, 3 years and older. Entering the ring will be Vincent Butcher and Ford Nippers. In your program, there will be a scratch right ear BR8, left ear A25. That is a scratch, so this one has BR8 A24. After this class, we will bring in the first place from each of the classes. So for the Avril, you'll need your other does to come in for selection of the champion and reserve dairy doe.
You're about to relax. You got to set up, hold your head up. Hold your head up so that it comes all the way back. But as you pet her, tell her everything's okay. She goes like this. If you're relaxed. See? No, that's a, you want her to feel. You want her to look sharp. You don't want her to get soggy. Okay? ship, baby. Okay, guys. Another deal for showmanship. And you stop, set them up to the best of your ability. Don't worry about the judge. You're going to set up. All right. Why don't you young men turn around on each side of the animal so the audience can see your animals. There you go. Don't worry about me now. So, if you were listening a little bit from the bleachers, I'm also trying to help them a little bit with showmanship in that class. Are we going to do a showmanship? We like to learn along the way. That's the kind of judge I like to be, is a teaching judge. I hope you learn some things in the audience. If you'd like to ask questions when we're done, feel free to. What we have in the ring now, I believe, is a 2-year-old first freshening Nubian type, and what did you say, a 4-year-old? Second or third freshening crossbred. And so now we have memory systems that we can evaluate, not only beside body types, but we have memory systems. On that scorecard of 100, that memory system can add up to 35 points. That's huge. Body capacity is like 15, general appearance is 25, and dairy characters, whatever the balance. So you really got to have a memory system that helps you on that scorecard. One way to help you decide how your memory system is adding up, if you'll take that rear leg and put it in the center of the udder, you should be seeing a third of the udder behind the leg. The leg should cover a third, and there should be a third of the udder ahead of the leg. This one's standing here. This one has barely got enough udder for her leg, but she's only a first freshener. As she matures, she's going to do a lot better. She's got a really nice body type, got really high, sharp withers. The Nubians tend to have this dip behind the withers called the chine. Right here, this is pretty typical. And then the long level loin and long hip. Pretty nice Nubian. She's going to be better in a year or two. She's just coming into her own. She's not quite balanced out yet. So, saying that, we're probably going to have to start the class with this older 4-year-old, showing more capacity in that memory system, more fore-udder ahead of the teeth, good whip between the rear hocks, and a better balance. The young Nubian's just a little bit off balance on the memory system. Good long hip on both of them. They're both very dairy. For those reasons, we'll place the black one first and the brown one second. But I think the brown is going to come along a year or two and really show up. A couple blues. Good job, guys.
From the 3-year-olds and older, Ford Nipper first with the blue, and Vicente Butcher, May 24, second with the blue. Now we'll bring in our first place from each of the classes. Ford Nipper, please bring your animal 43 in, Avril Butcher, animal M1, and Ford Nipper's animal 7091 into the ring for protection for our champion Dairy Doe and reserve champion Dairy Doe.
I was going to say, we got all your animals set up. And all the people bring them in, and all the,
Slow this show down. I'm supposed to be here for noon. It's fun to come back. Hopefully you'll get more and more numbers, and someday maybe I'll come out of retirement. I think I keep saying I'm going to give it up. This is my 25th year of helping kids evaluate dairy cattle and dairy goats and beef goats. But it's fun to come see a newer fair that I haven't been to, and it's been fun to come here. So we're in the champion drive. It takes a pretty good junior doe that doesn't have a mammary system yet to beat a milker because of all those points she can rack up. It has happened, but it takes an exceptional junior. Saying that, we're going to have to go right back to our milker. She's got good quality, she's got good flat dairy pattern, she's got a long lean neck, not carrying any fat, sharp at the withers, good length from hips to pins on her hip, got a good sound feet legs, good pasterns, good depth of rib. She's got a fairly balanced mammary system, could use a little better forerunner attached a little farther ahead on her stomach, but overall pretty decent milker. So that will make her our champion of the day. That gives us back to our 2 juniors. Now ordinarily we could pull in that milker that stood next to her for reserve. But looking back, I think we'll let her take a break back at the pen because her mammary system was a little bit lopsided today. I just don't think she's going to have the strength that junior could possibly beat her. There's one that I really appreciated today that really had good symmetry from front to back. I'd like to level up the hip just a skosh, but it's showing nice, good width in that lung capacity in the front end. Lots of width in that rear udder. A nice top line on her. We're going to go to that little black spotted kid for our reserve. Thank you guys. It was a nice little show.
Congratulations to Cord Nipper for his champion dairy doe from class 46, the 3 years and older. And the reserve champion dairy doe went to Cord Nipper from class 42, the 4 to 8 months. We'll go ahead and take photos of that, and then we'll start into our dairy weather classes.
Said I'm supposed to step in here. I don't have to. That guy with microphone, he's on the gun. I don't think that one. There we go. She wasn't listening much. Stay right there. Here we go. All right, we got changed gears a little bit. We're into a meat goat class in the dairy division. That's kind of like talking out of both sides of your face. We want milk goats, like I talked about in those reasons for the milkers. We want them long, flat boned, and lean to make milk. And now we have neutered males that we can put on grain to feed them out. And we ask them to do something different. That's a hard task to do. Most of the time in the Nubian breeds or the crossbreds of the Nubians, they are pretty easy to feed. They take on fat and meat a little better than some of the Swiss breeds. The neat part about meat goats right now is I just retired from the meat and dairy goat industry as a feed consultant. The meat goat industry is going off like wildfire. That goat, first place I'm going to place it first, is going to be worth about, what does that weigh? 65, 70 pounds. You weigh it? 80 pounds. Take that, in certain markets, take that times about $3.50 a pound. That's a pretty nice little check for a goat, right? This meat goat thing is going nuts. There's new plants opening up to process them, where there's many females coming up in the Texas area that people are starting to have meat goats on their rough timbers and pastures. It's becoming a very large industry. There's a lot of people in the United States that are coming in that eat a lot of goat and goat milk from their other countries. I grew up in central Iowa with the white Caucasian people. There was 15 of us around the section, and the family had 5 kids, and we all ate pot roast and baked potatoes, right? Well, now that section of ground where all them families are, it's nothing but a cornfield. They're all gone, and the world's changing. And so the different types of meat are becoming very popular, and this is one of them. Meat goats are going to become very good money. Congratulations on this goat. I'm going to place it first. It's got a good covering of fat for a dairy goat standard. It's got a good finish. It can use more meat in that rear leg and down through the twist into its hock. But for a dairy goat, that's a very nice purple ribbon animal. The second place animal, he said, was his twin. Obviously, one grew well and one didn't. It's still well taken care of. It's got a good bit of cover on its rib for a dairy animal. We're going to go blue on it. It can definitely use more muscle in that leg, which we're limited because of the genetics. And then the last place animal, been well taken care of. It's got a good start. It's got a good 90 days yet to get to a weight where you can really make some money, but it also deserves a blue. Very nice animal for dairy blood. Thank you.
Congratulations to board member Tom, his brand and reserve champion, Gary Weathers. We'll take those photos real quick and then move into the costume class, and then we'll follow by senior goat showmen. Average Butcher, please go bring your costume class goat to the ring. Average Butcher, costume class goat to the ring. For the champion, Terry Weather, it was Animal 4552. It received the purple as well. Reserve champion, Weather, was 4551. They received a blue. Animal 4553 received a blue. In the ring right now, we have Avril Butcher with our costume class.
Okay, as she's coming towards the center, we'll start talking about. Oh no, don't let her get a dirty dress. I gotta keep moving along. These cattle people are gonna yank us out of here, but it's okay. We got your time to get these up here, and they were taking more pictures than we had goats actually, right? Yeah. Hey, we got a costume class. It's always fun. We do it at the state fair. I'm the superintendent there, and in the evening the kids come along and have a costume class. And all the state fair people love to come and show up and have a little fun and let down their hair a little bit and laugh. So let's interview this goat and its keeper. Nothing. What's your name, please?
My name is Avril Butcher,
And how long in 4-H?
4 to 5 years.
All right. Tell us about your goat and the costume.
She's a pirate.
Pirate.
About her costume off of Amazon. By Roger Donovan. I think she looks okay.
I think she looks great. A pirate princess. So, let's all pay off the goat and her costume. I think that thing deserves a purple ribbon. Very good job.
In the costume class, Avril Butcher with a purple.
She'll never make it over here.
After this photo, we will do the senior showmanship class, and the Century and Ford are eligible for it. So the Century and Ford, if you're interested in senior
of the day. I know we're pressed for time, but it's an important deal to finish up with the kids. Thank you, cattle people, for being patient. What we're doing showmanship. I went down the line, we're looking at ears. We don't want to see earwax, we don't want to see tattoo ink. That's how we identify goats. We normally tattoo them. We don't like to see that green tattoo ink that makes a mess. There's a breed of goats called Lamanches. They don't have ears, so what they do is they pull that skin out from the center of the tail and tattoo the side of the skin on the tail. That's why I looked at tails and then I looked at their hooves. They need to have a good clean turned hoof. The nail doesn't have to be rolling over underneath and making them limp. It needs to be nice and sound as they're moving on their feet and extra passes in the ring. Those are three main things we like to see in a goat show. And then of course, well flipped. These are all well flipped and doing a good job. The young man, the front of the line, I would be a little suspicious at this point why you didn't have a collar or a chain on it to keep good control. That's the decision you have to make coming in the ring. You need to keep that head up nice and long and lean on these females. Keep that in mind. You did a good job all day. We'll move right along. I could go on and on and on. I could have you need body parts, but that's okay. We're pressed for time. I think there's a couple that stand out today because of the reasons I'm giving. This young lady is an intermediate, is that right? Next time finish up on the ear tattoo. A little bit in there yet. Really good job though. You did a good job all day. You'll be our intermediate showman. Show Gail, show Thurston. Young man, you did a good job presenting your animal today. Didn't always add up to be the leader, but you presented it well every time. You kept it set up, alert, long leading neck. The body and flipping is perfect. Thank you. You're going to be our season chauffeur. Thanks, everybody. Have a great fair. If you think about it, put some rain in the envelope and mail it to Story County. We need rain.
us with North Hall. In the ring again is Class 2 of the Bottle Bucket with North Hall having their second entry. Our judge today is Floyd Meade from Algona, Iowa. Please welcome Floyd to the Adams County Fair.
makes her way out of the ring with her bigger calf. I guess she just had the 2 single entries in here for our bucket bottle calf. The young lady does a great job. She's extremely knowledgeable. Every question I asked, she had an answer for. I guess on my part of the things, you know, I'm asked to choose between the 2. I'm probably going to go against her better judgment because she told me her favorite calf was the younger one. I guess for me, I think just off the personality, she told me, just from a showmanship standpoint, her knowledge of both was pretty much identical. So I'm going to lean more to the showmanship. And I guess for me, the bigger steer calf was the one that behaved better. So on my portion of the bucket bottle calf, we'll use that one for champion. And then her friend that showed the young one, that'll be your reserve.
And weight of 235 pounds. The reserve champion is in our call for class 1 and a weight of 131 pounds. The champion banner was sponsored by Iowa State Savings Bank, and the reserve champion banner was sponsored by the Lone Ranger.
We kick off our show. The young lady brings us a really nice feeder calf, single entry, just a red Angus cross heifer. I think one that just has a lot of future as you study her. really correct in terms of her overall skeletal build. I think one that has the right type of rib shape. And she's only going to continue to get better there. Just a really nice project the young girl brings us. So let's go ahead and congratulate her as she makes her way out the ring.
Entering the ring right now is Class 2 of the Peter Calf with Dustin Schuler. Animal weight 455 pounds, and Dustin Schuler, animal weight 477 pounds. For Class 1 of the Peter Calf has Shay Wolf with a blue.
Here on our feeder steer side of things, I think we got two calves out here, very, very similar in their makeup and the way they're built. And I think there's give and take, and it kind of really does just come down to personal preference and nitpicking small things about him. I guess the calf I'm going to go ahead and start the class with, I think as you study this one, he's just one that to me reads maybe just a little more youthful at this stage. When you study him in terms of the way his neck comes out the top side of his shoulder, I like that about him. I think he's one that's smoother in terms of his joint work. And I think here's a calf too, that as you get right up and behind him and study him, I think he's a little more progressive in the way his rib is designed in him. I think that'll just be you know, is you put him more days on feed, he's only going to continue to get bolder, and I think he's just a notch better there. The one in second is the stouter, bigger hipped one when you get right in behind him, one that's really massive. When you just study him down his top side in terms of his pin width, as I mentioned though, he's not acting quite as good on the halter, so he doesn't look like his neck attachment's quite as good, even though he is longer fronted, and just one that's maybe a little notch coarser about his joint work in comparison to the class winner. Very, very close pairing. Let's go ahead once again and put our hands together for those two exhibitors. From the second class there, Dustin Schuler at weighing 455 pounds was first place. Second place was at 477 pounds. Right now in the ring is our first and second from both feeder calves for Central World Champion and Reserve Champion feeder calf. Our champion banner was sponsored by Engel and Mahari PLC, and our reserve champion banner was sponsored by Freedom Creek Prairie. As we bring our two different division winners out here, as we mentioned in that first class, the young lady brings us a really nice red heifer out here, one that we liked a lot in terms of her skeletal build, the correctness of the angles of her skeleton, one that's really long and extended to her front end. Just a lot of things to like about that heifer. I think as you bring her back out here though, in comparison, you know, where you question her compared to two calves, is just where she's at in this stage of the game in terms of just overall performance and flashing ability. The two steers, as we mentioned, very, very close pairing with them too. I think they're both really good productive type of cattle that just give you a really easy feeding look. As we talked them in that division, just small minor details that sorted the pair. I think as you compare them to the heifer, you know, I think it could get close and you could go either way. I guess for me personally, I'm going to keep the two steer calves together within this drive. Let's go ahead and congratulate those two young gentlemen. Champion feeder calf went to Dustin Schuler at 455 pounds. Reserve champion went to Dustin Schuler, 477 pounds.
Entering the ring right now, class 1 of our AOB breeding heifers, we have Michaela Hauk and Sarah Shipley. Class 1 of our AOB breeding heifers.
Here in our AOB division, I'm going to go ahead and use the young lady Char Heifer here, the first one in the class to win this division. I think as you study one, just a really incredible individual in terms of just the overall mass and true body shape she has. You get right in behind her, and I mean, just the amount of mass she has. And they get out, and when we ask her to move, to handle that correctly. If you were going to nitpick on her, maybe we could lean her up ever so slightly. I'd like to just see her a notch leaner, but a very, very good individual will win the class. The young lady with the shorthorn heifer coming next. Here's one that when you just talk about build and angles of her skeleton, all extremely good. You like that about her from a functionality standpoint. I think in comparison to the Charolais heifer, as we ask this one to go out and make a cow, I'd like to see her just a notch more opened up in terms of her skeleton and come with more dimension. She just wants to close up, and I think that's hindering her a little bit from her flushing ability, but a very, very good individual in terms of the way she's put together. Let's go ahead and congratulate those two exhibitors.
Will be Michaela Hauk, first with purple, Sarah Shipley, second with blue. We'll bring in our second class of our AOB heifers. We have Cash Bramer and Isabel Inman. After this class, we'll bring in our first and second calves from our first class there and select our champion and regional champion with the state region heifer.
Foundation Simmental class. Two really good individuals. Once again, a pair that has some give and take. I think as you just set out beside them and get off these cattle, I think the young man's heifer just has a lot of quality in terms of the look that she gives you. I like her up there at front third. I think she's one that just balances up extremely well from the side. I think she's a little more ideal in terms of her condition as well. You know, if you're going to get critical on her, I'm not going to say she's perfect in terms of her structure and all her angles, but she's more than adequate there for me. I think one that'll on down the road will make a really nice breeding piece for the young man. The young lady brings us a heifer here in second that you like some things about. I think she is cleaner and more correct in the angles to her skeleton and her joints. I like that about her. I think she's one when you get right in behind her and then study her in terms of actual curvature to her rib coming out of her spine. I think she has that advantage as well. But I think as you just sit back and study this one, you know, I'd like to lean her up in her condition. I think that'll help her look up to her front end. Or I'd really like to change her is just in the way her shoulder. She wants to get a little rounded out there at the point of her shoulder, and she needs to change in terms of her forerib and the way she ties in there. She wants to get pretty tight and hard-hearted is right there. If we can correct her there, I think that becomes a very interesting pair. Very, very good class once again. Let's go ahead and congratulate those two exhibitors.
Results from Class 2. Cash Framer first with the blue, Isabel Inman second with the blue. We'll now bring in the animals from Class 1 and Class 2 for contention for our champion and reserve champion registered breeding heifer. Entering the ring right now from Class 1, Michaela Out. From Class 2, Cash Framer. Second place is from Class 1, Sarah Shipley. And Isabel Inman. Again, this is for contention for our champion and reserve champion registered breeding heifer. The champion banner is sponsored by KCSI. And the reserve champion is sponsored by Aiken Building Center.
As we bring our two division winners out here, you know, to pick our registrable breed champ, I think in my mind it's a pretty logical decision. I think there's one out here that just no matter what type of breeding program you have, has a place that would fit in that's just quality livestock. I think from then it's another logical decision for reserve, just one that has a lot of cool pieces but not near as complete. The young lady with the Charlet will be your champion. The young man with the Foundation Simmental will be your reserve.
champion registered breeding heifer went to Michaela Hout, and reserve champion breeding heifer went to Ash Bramer. And then move into our commercial breeding heifer class. We'll be bringing in our commercial breeding heifer class. Ethan James, and Tyler James. A class of 3 for commercial heifers.
And then Tyler.
our judge today is Troy Kane from Algona, Iowa. Let's give him a round of applause. We would also like to recognize our superintendents, Eric Suffolk and Tanner Lund. Let's give them a round of applause.
Here in our commercial heifer drive, I guess we got a really good individual to go ahead and win the class. It does so pretty handily in my mind. I think one that just has a lot of quality about her. It'll be fun to see her back against our breed champions for the overall. For me, the question, the close decisions between second and third, between the young man's baldy heifer and the solid black one, I guess is I just sit back and analyze them. There's some give and take between them. The young man's baldy heifer for me, I think as you just start at the ground, I think she's better in terms of just her feet. In the spread that she has, I think a heifer that balances up and is proportionate, really good in terms of her lines, and I think she has a distinct advantage in terms of leanness. If I was going to change this one though, for me she's a little bit big in terms of her kind, and I think with that she's just going to take a cow that from a production standpoint takes a lot more feed and maintenance to keep her in good condition. The young man's black heifer has that advantage. I like that one a lot better in terms of her frame size, just the way she's built. One that's really good and bold in terms of her rib design. I think in comparison to the heifer that preceded her in class, We just have too much condition on her. I think that's going to be really detrimental when we go to get that one bred. And I think that's also some of her issues. Is the study in terms of her feet and stuff, probably just pushed the corn a little bit too hard to her. But I think one that we just take home, kick on the pasture, let her freshen up. I think one that'll be a really productive cow down the line. Very, very good class with a great individual at the top. Let's go ahead and congratulate those exhibitors.
From the commercial breeding heifer class, first with a purple, Michaela Hout. Second, Ethan James with a blue. Third, Tyler James with a blue. Michaela also received the champion banner, and it was sponsored by KCSI Radio, and the reserve champion was sponsored by Aiken Building Center, and the reserve champion banner went to Ethan James. After we get photos taken, we'll bring in our champion registered heifer and our champion commercial heifer for contention for our supreme champion heifers. Champion breeding heifers. Our champion registered breeding heifer, Michaela Hout. And our champion commercial breeding heifer, Michaela Hout. Reserve champion registered breeding heifer, Ash Kramer. And reserve champion commercial breeding heifer, Ethan James. Again, this is a condition for our Supreme Champion breeding heifer. Our Supreme Champion banner is sponsored by Southern Hills Veterinary Services, and our Reserve Supreme Champion banner is sponsored by Blake Cooper. At the conclusion of our breeding heifer show, we'll start into our market classes. We will start with our advanced cattle feeding pen 3. The judge will go out to the pen, which is just over here in the east barn, and select up, and back into the ring for the lead registered market feed class.
tremendous breeding heifer show as we work through. I think as we get our grands out here out of the two divisions, I think it could get really close between the two. And nothing to take away from our reserves because they're extremely good quality too. Cattle that have some function. But I think, in my mind, it really comes down between our two division winners. And we could sit here and pick them apart and do that, but I'm not going to because I think they're both very high quality. They're both heifers that I would love to take home. Because I think they both not only represent the show ring, but I think they have a lot of quality and just future in them as far as making cows as well. Between the pair, I guess there's one I prefer just a little more up my alley, you might say. The young lady out of the commercial division will be your champion. As I mentioned, it was very close. We'll follow her up with the Charlotte heifer for reserve.
And the reserve champion, the current champion, goes to Nicole House from our registered class. Again, after we get done with our photos here, we'll move into our market classes. We'll start off with our advanced cattle feeding three class. Our director goes with the East Barn to judge those animals, and then come back to the ring for our lead registered market beef class.
here in our class of registered steers. I think a really good pair of them that both have a lot of quality about them. The young lady's more painted up one, I guess to me is just the show steer of the class. I think as you can see, when she gets that one set up, there's a lot of things to like about that calf. Starting at the ground, he sets down on more substance of foot and bone. I think he's a bigger bodied calf, and I think he's one that I think when you talk about market steers is a little more ideal in terms of his condition for this stage of the game. The young man steer coming in second. Here's one that, like I said, has a lot of quality about it. I like that steer a notch better through his front third, and I probably like him a notch better in the shape and design of his hock than our champion. For me, though, a steer that is that big and outlined at this stage of the game, weighing 1460 or so, he said, I'd just like to see him a little further along from a composition standpoint in a market show. Very, very good pair, though. Let's go ahead and put our hands together for those two exhibitors.
Champion registered market beef went to Ada Lund. Reserve champion market beef went to Tyler James. Tyler James also received the champion rated game beef with a 3.57 average daily gain. Ada received a purple and Tyler received a blue ribbon as well. Coming into the ring for Class 1 of the Crossbred Market Day class, we have Alex Morgan. Class 1 of the Crossbred Market Beef, Alex Morgan.
Just a single entry here in our first class of crossbreds. The young man brings this really nice bally steer, one that is super functional, just a good productive type of a calf, really good in terms of his feet and legs, a good body type of a calf, just a really nice individual. Let's go ahead and put our hands together again for him as he exits the ring.
Alex Morgan receives a blue in Class 1. We'll bring in Class 2 of the Crossbred Market Beef. we have Avery Morgan. And Nora Lund. After this class, we'll bring in Alexis Capsule, contingent for our champion crossbred market beef, or market steer, excuse me. And then we will do our overall market animal. Nora's cabin here receives the reserve rated game banner with an average daily gain of 3.13 pounds. That banner was sponsored by the Ellis Country, so Nora won state game for her rated game.
Here in our heavier crossbred class, once again, two nice individuals. I think one here at the top just wins the class and does so pretty handily. I think just a really high quality type of a calf, one that's just kind of hard to punch a major hole in. The young lady's Baldy calf here in second, just one that, you know, what you see is what you get type of a calf. And you really gotta like what you see. Another one that is super good in terms of his feet and legs, one that you get your hands on him. You really have to appreciate for the type of finish and just the smoothness that calf has. Just lacks some of the power of true body shape. Just eye appeal our class winner does, but a very, very good calf in his own right. Once again, can we go ahead and give these youngsters a round of applause?
Two, Nora Lund, first with the purple, and Avery Morgan, second with the blue. Now we'll bring in our calves from class 1 and 2 for contingent for our champion Marcus Spears. From class 1, we have Alex Morgan. Class 2. Nora Lund. And second place in Class 2. Avery Morgan. Signaling right now, our judges is going to be selecting our champion and reserve champion, Fred Market Sears. After that, we'll bring in our champion and reserve champion registered market fee. Award contingent for our grand champion market animal. Following our market show, we'll move into our showmanship show. We will start with seniors, move into the intermediates, and then followed up by the juniors.